Did you have a Father's Day?
Without children, yes.
That's right. Where
They're in
are they?
Michigan.
Are they in Michigan?
Yeah.
Hmm.
My Father's Day was I got to watch
F1.
Formula One. I got to watch just some. I got to start watching Jeremy Clarkson's farm show now
What? I
on
saw
Amazon.
something about that. Is that
Dude,
real?
it is, and it's great actually. You should watch
Huh.
it. It's
Oh.
I mean, you watch Top Gear, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I
and
mean, not
you know,
religiously, but
but you know him, and you know how
right.
funny he is, and everything else, and so he's basically taking to farming with like no real experience, and mayhem is to ensue, and
Mm-hmm.
it does, and it's actually pretty damn good.
All right. Cool. I could
Um,
probably use some of that.
oh yeah, yeah, uh, it's both kind of like it's funny, and it also just kind of, yeah, it's good.
Sweet.
No. And then two of last year's Formula One drivers who lost their rides at the end of last year. One of them, had ended his career in Formula One in kind of a fiery crash. He healed from his wounds and is now driving in IndyCar.
Hmm.
And then his old teammate was just hired to drive another IndyCar. So I wanted to tune in. What's funny is they're both open wheel racers,
Yeah.
but you look at Formula One, and there's these beautifully sculpted, cars. I mean, the car itself is just a gorgeous work of art. In my mind, as a car nut, to me, they're
Yeah.
a gorgeous piece of work.
Are they
And then
all
you look
electric
at
now or not?
nah, they're hybrids.
Okay.
In fact, they're actually V6 hybrids that go 218 miles an hour.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then you have IndyCar, who are open wheel racers, open cockpit with a windshield. And if you could make a car any uglier, I don't know how you can do it, but they did it.
Oh
And
man.
I look at it and I'm just like, it is like visually unpleasant to watch this race because my aesthetics is injured by watching this. However, I want to watch this guy that I, rooted for in Formula One. I would love to see him do well in IndyCar. He's been holding his own. He's like, been finishing within. He finished at Indy number 2, and then the past couple of races, he's like finishing within like the top 10. I mean, he finished fifth yesterday. I mean, these are all respectable finishes for a rookie, and it's great to watch, but I it literally is like
Kind of cringy.
it's hideous to watch these cars drive around. I mean, it's almost as if I'm watching like open wheel NASCAR, which I absolutely hate NASCAR because,
Yeah.
if you basically are driving in a painted up version of what I drive around every day,
Yeah. Yeah,
what's the
kind of.
point?
Yeah.
Except for I'm able to turn left and right,
Yeah.
whereas they can only turn left.
Have you seen the what is it? I think it's a Netflix original, but the F1,
Oh
maybe
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Red Bull. That's
No,
a good that was a good show.
no, it's Formula One Drive to Survive.
Yeah, that's it. That
Yeah,
was
and
good.
I watch it all the time.
Yeah,
And in fact, I've even watched the first series twice just because,
yeah, yeah, it's good.
because I'm one of these dumb people who actually really really like Formula. In fact, Rochelle's just like, there's been really one constant in your life other than me, and it
Hmm.
is you watching Formula One.
Oh wow,
I used to tape it and all that other stuff.
what's that?
Remember when you
Uncle
taped
Cormac.
things? Remember when you taped things?
Yeah.
Uh,
Remember when you taped over things that you wanted to keep?
yeah, exactly.
Well, the best kind of racing is not Formula One. It's actually WRC, World Rally Championship.
Yeah, I do love the rallies. I like old school rally though, when you'd have the
People
people
getting run
standing
over.
like
Yeah.
literally right on the edge of the track.
Oh yeah, dude.
And the
Element of danger for the
yeah, I
crowd
was
is
going to
just incredible.
say the if I would say that what's more exciting is whether or not Francois is going to move out of the damn way or get hit in the face with a bumper. Yeah.
Then there's always some cameraman who, like, especially in the old days when the cameras were just enormous, right? And they're on these
Yeah.
giant tripods, and there's this car just hurtling cartwheels toward them.
Yeah. And you're basically sitting there. It's just like, here comes my death right in
Oh
front of
my
me.
God. So good. Yeah, so good.
I'd like to take this time to say goodbye to my wife and family because, as you can see, I'm about to die.
Yep.
It's just, yeah,
Anonymous camera operator killed by World Rally Racer.
yeah. And then I've, been kind of interested in this. What the hell is it called? Um, it's basically the electric version of the Dakar rally. Like these
Mhm.
like long distance rallies
Oh,
and
I didn't
stuff.
know they had an electric version of that.
Yeah, so I've been following Jensen Button, who is a Formula, an old Formula One champion who
Veteran.
retired,
Yeah.
and he's kind of been helping work with resurrecting this old car company, and they're these guys are building these cars called the Radford,
Mm.
and so I've been kind of like following him on that, and then I noticed that he started posting all of this stuff about this. He like bought a team to compete in this like world cross rally stuff. um I don't want to call it like Extreme X or something like that, but basically and then but the vehicles are all electric, and I think it's pretty cool. I mean, they just did one in the Saudi desert, which up until a while ago nobody would be able to do because they didn't have that kind of tourism or motorsport or anything like that. But since they're trying to reshape themselves and have open up Saudi Arabia to tourism, it actually looks pretty interesting.
Sounds cool. I'd be into that.
Look up Jensen Button.
All
It's
right.
his he is one of the team owners that uh, do this.
I will. Oh, dude. So, you went on a hike recently. I think in one of the previous episodes you said like the AT and then the Appalachian Trail, but like you actually went and hiked some of it. A lot of it.
I
Not a lot of
did.
it, but well, I don't know. I don't know what a
Yeah,
lot of it is. It's a really long trail.
it isn't a lot of it because
It's a small piece of it, but it was a big hike. How about that?
yeah, I only ended up doing. So we had started off by saying that we were going to do, essentially 9 miles, which when we actually got on the trail, it ended up being 13 miles. And I discovered,
How's that happen?
eh,
Wrong turns or not good at
no,
mapping or like how did
no. So what we had initially ended up, intending to do is basically parking, at least one person parking at the end of a trail, or a portion of the trail, and then basically somebody picking them up and going to another, like the start point of where we wanted to start to hike, and then just hike that, which I think we would have been good with doing that. But then as we were getting closer to the planning and everything else, it was like, well, we could park here and we could hike in, go to where we were going to start and then turn around and hike back.
Yeah, so the
Well,
difference there, like the first one is what we call in the mountain biking world a shuttle, right?
yeah,
2 cars, takes longer
yep,
because you got to drive back to the
yeah,
start and all that stuff. The second one is out and back, right?
yes,
So that's what you're talking about. You're going to go out and back to some
yeah. And so,
predetermined distance and then come back to where you started.
yes, yes. So the the first one, where the shuttle version, we were going to basically start at the high point of where we were and then kind of
Just
work our way down.
pound your knees down. Like when you said start at the high point, I immediately think, oh, my knees.
Well, yes. So so then we decided, oh no, there's this parking lot at the low point, and you'll appreciate this, and we just talked about it in one of our previous episodes, the Harper's Ferry, and so we'll get to that, your trip and all that other stuff in a second. But so as the Appalachian Trail, descends from where we were at for where we were going to start at the shuttle, it descends down and then it goes down, a bunch of switchbacks, and then it hits the C&O Canal, the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal, which is just this long canal system, very much like the Erie Canal, where it connects Cumberland, Maryland, all the way down to Georgetown in Washington, D.C.
For the purpose of like moving goods and stuff, right?
For the purpose of moving goods, because it parallels the Potomac River, but the Potomac River is too unstable. There's a lot of places where you really can't get shipping through that area,
Mm-hmm.
not through it, but it's just rapids and rocks and all that other stuff. So
Sure.
they built the canal next to it, which is fantastic. But then you have that little small flat, and then you go into Harper's Ferry, and then that's kind of the center point. And then the center point of the Appalachian Trail, kind of between its starting point in Maine to its end point in Georgia, that's kind of the midpoint. And so, as I said, we were going to start from the upper point and then kind of like, descend down. And they decided, well, if we park here, we can ascend and then turn around and descend.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, I guess that's okay. I've been
How
hiking
bad could it
these.
be? That's what you say.
How bad could it
How
be?
bad could it be?
So you said the downhill, you're thinking, oh, my knees.
Right.
Well, Cormac was thinking on the uphill, oh, damn, my lungs.
Yeah.
It's because, okay, I'm not as fit as I should be. Let's just throw that out there. I mean, I've been hiking like what seems to be pretty religiously, at least, 3 times a week since January.
It's like your only outlet. Yeah. This is what you go
It is
do.
totally my only outlet. It is because I can socially distance from people, because the trails that I go on are very, very sparse with people. I mean, there's rarely anybody I run into, and especially now that I've decided that I'm going to like hike either in the really early morning or late in the evening, just before sundown. I basically, I've got the trail to myself, and so but I mean, it's not a very long trail, but it has a lot of like inclines and declines, and it's rocky trail and flat trail. I mean, you hiked it with me.
Mm-hmm.
The little trail. It's not a very long trail, but it's a good comfortable one. And when I want to get distance, I'll actually like hike that a couple of times. Like do a couple of loops, like I did last night. I ended up doing 3 loops around, to try to like total up to it's just about 6 miles. But again, it's not it's not terribly challenging. It's just I kind of consider it just a good moderate, just kind of like keep yourself moving kind of trail.
Yeah, it's the go-to. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so we hike this, and I'm hiking with a dude who boxes and runs and all this other stuff for his fitness program. And then I have the other guy who is a long distance cyclist. And he's like, oh, well, I mean, so we met up at the parking lot waiting for the one guy who was always perpetually late. Figured he was going to be late. So we're sitting there, we're chatting and waiting for him. And the cyclist, he's like, yeah, I knew that we were going to be hiking today, so I just did a light 72 miles yesterday.
I only rode 72 miles so that I could be fresh for today.
Is exactly what he meant.
Did you stab him with your eyes at that point? Like,
yeah. And I, gave him the single figure salutes and all. Like, really? So I knew I was in for it, because he's just like, well,
you're like, I'm coming in third.
Oh yeah, I definitely came in third. But so one, I knew that, I kind of like pre-warned them. I'm like, look, my pace is usually around like, 2.4 to 2.8 at best miles per hour, on terrain. And, all
On
that
the
it
train that
does
you're used to hiking, right?
on the terrain. Well, actually, I usually average about 3.2 on that, but, on some more slightly difficult ones, it obviously tapers down. And so, he's just like, oh, that's okay. I'm only, I only average about like, 2.8 or something. I'm like, all right, well then, maybe we're on average. Of course, we're not, because you just rode 72 miles as a light workout.
A warm up.
Massive air quotes there. And so first we have to do this quick ascent, which is a lot of switchbacks, very steep. It goes to this overlook that overlooks Harper's Ferry. And so it's basically, let's just say if we were starting at zero, it was a 700-foot, ascent like that. And of course, they're good to go because they're fresh. And so they're like clipping up pretty quickly. And I'm, trying to stay, step for step with them. And I'm doing a pretty decent job until my heart's just like, dude, seriously, this is what we're doing this early in the morning? It's 6 o'clock. You stop drinking coffee and you're going with this?
It's like a sprint, and you're like,
What the? Yeah. They're like, what the hell? And so,
body does
we
not
got
capitulate.
body was like, nah. And then I found out one thing, that as much as I love my ultras, because they're so light and thin, which is great for, again, my little trail,
Mm-hmm.
but that trail is all rock. Like the whole damn way, it's all rock.
Right.
And I'm feeling it like poking through my shoes the whole damn time. It didn't really hurt or anything. It's just, you could just feel it.
Oh, it
And,
just wears you out. Yeah.
It just wears you out.
Right.
And so, to be quite honest with you, I was actually perfectly fine, almost step for step with them for the first 9 miles, which I was actually impressed with, until
Well, because your manlyhood was you were,
was in question.
yes.
Well, I mean, that could be that as well.
Yep.
And so then we decided, all right, it's kind of like it's time to turn back, because also I needed to get home to take my daughter to a soccer game, and I'm realizing that if we don't turn back, I might not make it, because it was an hour drive from my house to get to where we were, and I have to do an hour back, but I still got to get out of this damn place.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we
So
are 9 miles away from my car, or well, we weren't 9 miles away, but we were however many miles away from my car, and now we're on like, the big descents.
So I think we have to pause right here and say, like, this conversation is never going to get to architecture.
It probably
And
won't.
the reason why is because we both had a hell of a week.
Yes, exactly.
And this is way better to talk about. We are not going to talk about architecture.
There you go. Big
All right.
disclaimer there.
Please continue.
So then I discovered the existence of a part of my anatomy that I honestly never really actually knew existed. And what's funny enough is that, I was really good in anatomy, and I like to, you know me, I love to draw. And I used to love to draw like the skeletal system and the muscular system and all of this other stuff. But apparently there was the existence of this one thing that I just didn't really know about until it decided to rear its ugly head really quickly after that 9 mile mark. Like,
I'm very aware
almost
of the thing.
instantaneously.
I'm very aware of the thing you were about to speak of.
The IT band.
The IT band.
I'm like, what the what?
Yep.
And I'm just like, we start walking and my hips are starting to hurt. And there's like this shooting pain from like, my upper hip down to like my knees. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? I mean, I didn't like tweak anything. I didn't slip or anything like that. What's going on? And so, I'm talking to them like, oh yeah, man, your IT band is
ready to
starting
snap.
to like, and I'm like, what the hell is an IT band? I was like, is it a bunch of like nerds that, are singing to it with their computers and stuff? No, it is extreme pain in your thighs, in your hips. And what makes it worse, after I did a lot of research and reading, after the fact,
Mm-hmm.
is downhills make it much worse.
Hmm. Yep.
And
Stride's
so
different, using different muscles. Yep. Different tendons.
fast fast forward, we did the equivalent of 700 flights of stairs.
Mm.
And of course, I might, like my hike is the equivalent of 28 flights of stairs, according to the Apple Health app.
So just a couple more. What's a
So
couple
just
more?
just a few more. So like, I'm used to my, nice little 28, flights of stairs, kind of like nice little leisurely walk in comparison to this thing, 700.
Hmm.
And my hips are burning, and I'm and they're
But at the
and
same
they're also
time, you're like, no one is going to come get me.
no,
No
no,
one.
they're not gonna they can't carry me
To
out.
me, that's like the real instinct kicks in,
Exactly.
and because I have
Oh yeah.
a similar story to this, right? And it's like I need to get myself out of here, because if
Oh
I
yeah.
don't
Yeah.
get myself out of here right now, no one's coming to get me for a very long time. Like they actually
Yes.
might come tomorrow.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Tomorrow. And and so of course, like, and then for some reason, every time I would like, like do steps, my legs started to cramp up, like, the seizing cramps, not just the, oh, I get a little cramp in my calf kind of thing. No, no, no. Like seizing up where you're literally watching your muscles contract and like depress in. And you're looking at your legs like, what the hell's going on here?
Not in control of the muscles. Yeah.
Not in control of the muscles at all. And I'm like, all right, so I'm starting to reject this whole, like, 9 miles is my limit apparently, or at least now currently
Hmm.
it's my limit.
Yeah.
Because we didn't stop. I mean, we were like nonstop the whole time, and yeah, I had water, but
No refueling otherwise. Huh.
no real refueling. And so,
That's a good
um,
lesson to learn right there.
a very good lesson. And so, one other thing that we had noticed is as we're on the downhill, they're asking me, they're like, "Hey, man, are your hands like swelling up?" Because they're like walking with their hands up over their heads. I'm like, are you doing like the YMCA? What's going on here? Like, why are you guys, hiking with your hands over your head? And apparently their hands started to puff up. And I'm looking at my hands and my hands are fine. And then at the 2 miles remaining mark, I look down and we're all like, going downhill. And of course, it's rocky terrain, downhill, kind of like quick descent from like higher elevations. I can't remember the exact elevation we hit, but it was kind of like what felt like a quick ascent, sort of, except for the fact that I'm in searing pain because my hips are refusing to move properly.
Hmm.
And then of course they're giving me, it's like, oh, you can stretch like this. And I'm like, no, I can't. Not right now. I can't. I can't. They're like, just put one leg on top of the other leg
I
and then
will
just kind of
snap
like bend
something.
down. It's just like, I can't even lift. I can barely lift my leg a half an inch off the ground.
I just
So, and
can't.
you're telling me
I
that,
just can't even. Yeah.
yeah. And so then I look down at, my right hand, and my right hand looked fine. I look down at my left hand and I've got Hulk hand. My hand, my hand is so swelled up. I'm like, the hell is going on here? And then I start getting lightheaded.
Oh my gosh.
And then I start feeling like I'm friggin' drunk.
Yeah, your body's just like, we're done.
It literally, I'm just like, so like the whole time, like on the steepest part of the descent to the car, I am lightheaded. I'm dazed. I'm not confused yet,
Uh-huh.
other than the fact that the only thing that I was confused about was what the hell is my body doing to me right now?
Right.
Or my body was saying that to me,
Hmm.
whatever. And so when we finally got down to the bottom, I look at the time. I'm like, oh crap, I've got an hour and a half before I've got to get started Magdalena's game. So, like I drove all the way down to the house, basically calling her up, say, hey, get ready. We're gonna just jump in the car and I'll get you to your game. And we literally got there just at the same time as like the coach showed up. So thankfully we made it on time. But because of thankfully the soccer field that they were playing on was right next to, I mean, like right next to the parking lot. And I sat there, I told her, I'm like, I'm watching from the car.
Yeah.
I'm not moving. I can't move. I'm watching from the car. And I basically sat in the car with the heated seats on, and, and it was 90 degrees outside, and I still had the heated seats on so that I could like just relax my muscles. I was
So
just like,
was it fun in retrospect or not?
yes, it was actually a blast, to be quite honest with
Interesting. Yeah, because, this is the definition of type 2 fun.
you. Yeah.
Type 2 fun is miserable when it's happening.
It was miserable, but you know what? It was great because honestly,
You learned a
like
lot about yourself.
when I went to I learned a lot. I learned about my limits at the time, and then of course they were just like, watch, you're gonna come out, you're gonna come back out here and train, and then the next time we come out to hike with you, you're gonna kick our butt. I'm like, yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do actually. Maybe.
I mean, the hardest thing about this is that it's hard to enjoy it when it's happening, when it's a total sufferfest, right? It's like, hey, this is terrible. I can't wait for it to be over.
Well, so then, I listened to you, and you were talking about, the game changer of the trekking poles and stuff. And so after the fact, I got some trekking poles.
Yeah, I think you ordered them before you went, but they weren't there in time.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
So you missed out on that. Yeah.
They literally came 2 days later, and I was just like, sure, thanks. And, so I've been using them to try to get used to them. I mean, I actually, honestly, they've like, I don't know if this is exactly what they're supposed to do, and maybe you can tell me differently, but so like the hike that you and I had done when you and, did my little hike, since I've been using the trekking poles just to more or less get used to them, I kind of feel a little ridiculous using them. I don't know why, but
it's just your baggage, man. It's just your previous baggage. That's all.
It's my baggage. Yeah. It's just like, I don't need no crutch.
Right.
Yes, I do. Yes. After that hike, I needed multiple crutches, a walker, a chair, whatever.
Right. Motors. I need electric motors.
Honestly, they're awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm actually quicker on my, so like the other day, like I said, I was averaging like, between like 2.4 and 2.8 on, some of these. I, checked the health app, and it said I was doing a 3.6.
Wow.
I'm like, that, I mean, yes, I will thank the mountain that kicked my butt.
Yeah. Right.
For like, I mean, I think that my, lungs are a lot better now, and my muscles are a little bit stronger, and so, whatever the pain was then, there was some payoff. But
well, this was definitely type 2 fun, because it sounds to me like you're willing to go do it again. Because like type 1 fun is like margaritas, right?
Yes.
Type 2 fun is it was pretty miserable when it was happening, or maybe right afterward. But overall, like you felt like it was a decent experience, and you're willing to go do it again, right?
Oh yeah.
And then type 3 is like, it's just never fun. It wasn't fun when you're doing it. It wasn't fun afterward. You're never going to go do it again. What the hell was I doing? Right. So this was pretty firmly in the type 2 category.
Although I will say that, so my wife's been joining me on some of my detox from the day kind of hikes, is what I sort of call them.
Totally. And daily medicine. Yeah,
exactly. And we have discovered that on the way back, there is a bar in Potomac, Maryland.
Because you have to celebrate the wins.
Exactly. Yeah. So there is a type 2 fun that is punctuated by a type 1 fun, which is the margaritas.
Which is a great combo. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's so funny.
And so, they've got great steak tacos and margaritas.
Perfect. That's a reward. You got a reward. Yeah, totally. This episode of the ArcaSpeak podcast is supported by Twinmotion. What if you could visualize your building in a couple of clicks, remove months from the design process, or create a bridge between stakeholders to solve problems before they even come up? Well, our friends at Twinmotion offer simple, real-time visualization for architects. Their state-of-the-art technology lets you view and edit your scene on the go in the same pixel-perfect quality as the final rendering. Twinmotion seamlessly integrates with other tools like SketchUp and Revit, transforming your BIM or CAD models into high-quality images, panoramas, standard or 360-degree VR videos, or presentations. It's no wonder it's used by industry leaders like Zaha Hadid Architects and HOK. What's more, you'll have access to Quixel Megascans, the world's largest library of 3D assets, to populate your scene. They're absolutely incredible. Sound complicated? Well, what if I told you that Twinmotion enables anyone to present their biggest ideas in the easiest way possible, regardless of previous CG experience? Or that it uses drag-and-drop assets and the power of Unreal Engine to truly differentiate your projects? To learn more, visit twinmotion.com, or you can download a free trial today and visit our exclusive URL, which is twinmotion.link/Archispeak. That's twinmotion.link, not .com, people, .link/Archispeak. That's twinmotion.link/Archispeak to try Twinmotion for free. And now back to our conversation. I had a similar experience a few years ago. I mean, it was probably 2016 now. I don't know, something like that. But a friend of mine and I went and did, with a group of other kind of adventurers, this slot canyons in Zion National Park. Mm. And for this particular day, it was called Birch Hollow, the canyon that we did. And you drive way up to the East Rim, like 45 minutes to an hour up on this, up the highway, then onto a dirt road. And then you go back and you park your car and you just start walking down a ravine. And then pretty soon it turns into slot canyons, because all of these canyons basically lead into the Narrows of Zion National Park. And you go through these amazingly beautiful slot canyons that you've got to rappel down. You got to have special gear. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know how to rappel and all this stuff. But you get to see things that hardly anybody gets to ever see in Zion National Park, if anywhere else, right? And so you're going down these super narrow, multiple 100-foot tall, 200 or 300 feet tall, some of these slot canyons. And they look just like how you picture when you hear the word slot canyon. I mean, it is like they can be as narrow as a foot across. Typically, they're wider. Obviously, you can get through them, and but they kind of snake their way up, and you can sometimes see a little bit of daylight, and sometimes you can't, right? Because these are carved by water, and so you're going down these amazing things, and like you, this particular one was 14 miles long total for the whole day, one way. You never turn around and go back up the slot canyons. You just go down slot canyons. And you end up in the Narrows, which is, a multi-mile hike in the water, and it's all wet, slick rocks that some of them are, they call them baby heads. They're tiny. They're like the size of a wine glass or maybe a little bit bigger, and they're slick and they're loose. And so your ankles and your feet get a crazy workout, the whole day. Because you're just walking through that. And this is after you've done the slot canyons, you've done all the rappelling, you've jumped off the waterfalls to get down to the next level, and you're wearing a wetsuit, and it's 120 degrees outside, but the water's 40 degrees. And so you've got to wear a wetsuit because you're going to freeze in the water, and then you kind of swim through a pool, and you just keep hiking. And it's amazing. Like, it's incredible. And you get to the point, like I got to the point where my toes had been hitting the ends of my boots for over 10 miles because I just had the wrong pair of boots that day. And it's like, okay, I know I'm losing these toenails, right? And my knees are killing me. They're just dead. And my ankles are killing me, and et cetera. Like, many people lost lots of toenails that day, and nobody got hurt. But it was very much like this is a sufferfest, as I said earlier.
Yeah.
And you get to the point where you're just like, I've had 8 Advil or ibuprofen or whatever, and it's like, it's not getting any better, right? I mean, I know that that's terrible for your stomach lining. I know it's terrible for lots of reasons, but at some
Did you say a Advil or 8?
8. The number 8, okay. Right? Like, because you're just like, it hurts so bad.
Yeah.
I'm glad I have these. Why aren't they doing anything? Right. And my friend Johnny said, he's like, I've never seen you so angry. And it's not like you're outwardly angry, but you're just like, no one's coming to get me. No one.
Yeah.
Like, and if they are, it's going to be 18 hours from now. It's not going to be in 20 minutes like I wish, right? So it's like, just keep walking, don't stop walking. Because if you stop, you start to cool off. Everything, all the joints start to lock, and you're not going anywhere. So don't stop.
Yes.
I just remember getting to the end and sitting on a bench waiting for the very last shuttle, because it was after dark. It had been all day long. And I was just like, I cannot walk anymore. Totally. And I still had to go back all the way up to the East Rim and get my car, right?
Hopefully not walk.
Yeah. So get somebody else to drive you up there, get the car.
Exactly.
But we did go to eat after we got the car, and it was like 11 o'clock at night. There was one place open, and it's like beers and barbecued ribs. And my friend John has this photo of me, and I look so unhappy.
Oh, man.
And would I go do it again? Heck yeah, I would. I would go do it again.
I mean, I have seen many a picture from the slot canyons in Zion, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Now you've put a little bit of fear of God in me that I'm not sure I want to.
Well, there's that famous movie. What is it? 127 hours or something like that. I can't remember. But the guy basically uses a Swiss Army knife to cut his arm off because he's stuck. He got it lodged in, and it is like, this was the canyon. Like, it's really close to the canyon. I think that canyon was called Mystery Canyon, which is very close to the one that we were in. But it's in Zion. I mean, and there are real dangers. Obviously, you don't go do this stuff alone, right? But that topic comes up as you're suffering.
So it's interesting, though, and you may know about this podcast or you may not, but so I was reading an article in Backpacker, and because yes, I've bitten the apple, and now I'm interested in learning all I can and doing as much as I can. And so I was reading this article, and they said, oh, you could read, you can hear more about this in firsthand accounts on our podcast. And I'm like, ooh, you know me, I love podcasts. I kind of like to do them every once in a while.
Turns out, yeah.
And so I was like, I got to check this out. And so the podcast is called Out Alive. So you can imagine what the stories are.
This is like the book they publish every year on mountaineering and climbing accidents, right? Like, it's just like, I'm going to read about all the things that can go wrong.
But it's interesting because it's all firsthand experiences of surviving some pretty, some pretty harrowing adventures that they had.
Like a master class in survival. Yeah. Oh
yeah. And so the one that I was listening to last night on my hike was about it was a teenager who, this group of friends, basically, I'm assuming probably Boy Scouts, had just been, progressively as they got older, doing harder and harder hikes and canoe trips and things like that. And so they went to the Northwest Territories of Canada, basically way in the middle of nowhere where it's all just, glaciers and stuff like that, to do a 41-day canoe trip.
41 days. Jeez.
41 days.
It's like they're exploring the Amazon or something.
And they're 17 years old with a guide. And the guide is probably, it sounded like he was in his 20s at the time. And
what could go wrong?
What could go wrong? And so the episode is called The 29th Day, which marked the day that he was attacked by a grizzly bear.
Oh my gosh.
And
the guide?
No, the kid, the 17-year-old kid. Okay. And so, it was the guide who actually, helped save his life after he played dead, after almost being dead, hiking back to the, basically, hiked back and then had to do like a 200-foot descent after being bitten by a bear, punched by a bear, and everything else, and then climbed down to his camp. And of course, he's coming up and he's yelling that he was attacked by a bear, and none of the kids believed him.
Yeah, right.
until they saw like these big, bite marks in his thigh and all of this other stuff. And, to like kind of piggyback on your story, no one was coming to get him.
Yep.
And
exactly.
they had to.
No one even knew where he was.
And they basically had to. Well, they had a satellite phone that they just, at the time they were just too far away to like it was actually useful. And so when they tried to keep going, with all of this until it got to the point where the antibiotics that they had weren't working because he clearly had rabies, and so they had to like medevac him out of there, and it was pretty insane stuff. But I'm like listening to this on my hike, and of course, here I am and just like essentially
in the
park
woods by yourself. Yeah,
in the woods by myself, but and all I hear is like, and you've been on this hike with me. You know that there's like deer and stuff running around in there.
You hear something.
And
yeah.
And I hear this deer walk by and I'm like, spin around real fast. Bear.
Yeah, of course.
Like, of course it's not going to be bear, but in my head,
right, no, it's a werewolf.
Time. Yeah. And it'll be a kindred spirit for me then. But but yeah, it was but you really should check. I mean, anybody who's listening should really check that one out. It's really interesting. I mean, listen to another one about them people basically being stuck in an avalanche underneath the snow for, they like give these time limits of like, if you can get to somebody who's completely buried in a snowpack in 25 minutes, there's a X amount percentage chance of survival. And then obviously it goes down every 5 minutes from there, and they're like underneath this thing for 35 minutes and they're in the backcountry
nightmare.
And, I mean, I hate to say this, that is honestly the one and only reason why I will never ski. I know everybody's, plenty of people who are listening has probably skied before. Not me.
Yeah.
That's one thing that, I mean, that's just one thing that I just have this.
My brother and I have created a small
fear.
avalanche once. It was freaky. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see,
yeah.
Were you in that avalanche?
Yeah. We were kind of snowboarding in it.
Well, see,
it was very small.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it anything more than it was. It wasn't huge at all. But yeah, I mean, they go like real avalanches go like 200 miles an hour. You will never outrun them.
Yeah, well, they were talking about, well, with all of the training and stuff that we've had, and they talk about, you're supposed to swim with it. They're like, yeah, all of that's out the door when you're actually stuck in one.
Oh yeah, if you've got gear on and
yeah,
your feet are locked into a snowboard or skis or whatever. Yeah, forget about
it. Yeah,
there's no swimming.
And then and it's amazing because like the anxiety that I was like feeling just listening to their story was just like,
that's a good story, man.
Dude. I mean, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, we'll put links to that in the show notes for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely something that you should like check out.
Because we all need an escape now and then. Yeah, like this episode. Escape reality.
Exactly. That's the. I mean, after long hard weeks, or long hard days. I mean, I'm sure everybody,
or months.
Tries exactly or months. Everybody tries to. Figure out a way to kind of detach a little while. And, my more recent mode of detaching and just kind of like, I don't know, I guess regaining consciousness, if you want to call it that, has been hiking. And, and I know yours has definitely been, biking and stuff like that. And thanks for coming out and, so.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for showing me your trail. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great Falls is a cool spot, and that whole like C&O area that is super cool. We got to see a bunch of it here and there, like pieces of it, as we kind of traversed, Maryland and Pennsylvania and West Virginia, and it's super cool. It's so amazing to be like in 3 or 4 states in a very short period of time. Where I'm in California, and like even to get out of California is quite a trek. So
if like say. How long does it take to get from your house to like your normal biking spot?
Probably 20 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, 20 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
So think about however long it takes you to get to like say an hour.
Yeah. Like that's me to the beach basically. Yeah.
So you to the beach. I can I can drive, obviously from Maryland. So I live, right off of the DC border. So I could be in, Virginia, DC, and Maryland, basically do a loop in 15 minutes. Not a big deal.
That's crazy.
So that to me, it's like, going from state to district to state is not that, thing. But
and it's green, and there's water.
And it's green.
Yeah, I don't have any of that.
What's I don't know if it ever like amazes you, like being in the DC metro area, how green it really is.
Oh, it's
how
incredible. Yeah.
Like
it's Pacific Northwest. Like, I mean, it's not the same kind of green because it's all pretty much deciduous on your side, but Pacific Northwest is like that, and it's all evergreen. It's different but similar. Yeah. It's just the density is what's so similar. It's just solid green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this, speaking of density, you were commenting about the humidity, when you were here.
Mm-hmm. Which wasn't bad, but it was noticeable coming from where I come from. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yesterday, it was, I sent a screenshot of, it was 90 degrees and it felt like 104.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, for some reason, I did not pay attention to any of that when I started off on my trek. But halfway through, my lungs started feeling heavy. Everything just started feeling heavy. And I'm just like, what the hell am I doing out here? Like, I should just like walk back. And I'm like, I'll just do another loop.
Sent you a text message the other day. It showed it at 108 degrees, right?
Yeah.
That was on the way out to Palm Springs. Well, I didn't send you the other one, but it was 122. 122 in Palm Springs. So
I was talking to a client who is overseas, and they sent me, actually they didn't send it to me. They were sharing, when they started to share their screen, it had, before it like clicked onto what they were sharing, it showed their desktop that had a little weather app on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 51 degrees.
Whoa.
Celsius.
Oh. Wow. That's insane.
Yeah. I'm going to let everybody do the math on that.
Yeah,
one.
you're going to have to look that one up.
Jeez. 51 degrees Celsius.
That's incredible.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
No, man. I have been in that very weather.
You've lived it, yeah.
To where they were at, and to one up them. Not that that's a thing right now, but I did it in full BDU uniform or military uniform with the chemical, gear over the top of all of that. Oh. So I was in layers in 51 degree temperature, and they're trying their damnedest to avoid even contact with the outdoors.
Yeah, right. You don't go outside.
Yeah. And it was pretty amazing that, 51 degrees, I was reminded like, oh yeah, now I know why I was literally a skeleton when I came back from Desert Storm.
You melted it all off.
Exactly.
Oh man. All right. Well, next time let's talk about falling water.
Yes.
All right.
Your trip.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I'll see you then.
Oh, all right, man. Talk to you later.